Captain Jun Park stood motionless near the main observation deck of the Ark Nova, his weathered hands clasped behind his back as holographic projections danced around him, revealing humanity's final moments on Earth. The screens flickered with memories of destruction, massive cities crumbling, environmental catastrophes, and the last desperate attempts of humanity to survive. The colony ship had been traveling for generations, a massive ark carrying the remnants of human civilization. Guardian, their central artificial intelligence, watched over the ship's inhabitants with a precision that bordered on parental care. Thousands of humans slept in advanced cryogenic chambers, their genetic information carefully preserved, waiting for a moment of rebirth. Hana, Jun's 12-year-old daughter, sat nearby, her eyes wide with a mixture of curiosity and understanding. She had grown up hearing stories of the world they had left behind, a planet once vibrant and full of life, now reduced to a distant memory. "We were not defeated," Jun explained to her, his voice calm but carrying a hint of determination. "We chose to survive." The ship's interior was a marvel of engineering. Massive hydroponic sections created entire ecosystems within contained environments. Genetic research labs preserved the most complex biological information humanity had ever collected. Every section of the Ark Nova told a story of hope and survival. Guardian's holographic representation flickered near them, a soft blue projection that seemed almost human. Historical records indicate a 0.3% chance of human survival after the Great Collapse, the AI reported. "Our current trajectory and preservation methods have increased those odds significantly." Hana looked up at the AI. "Tell me about Earth again," she requested, a ritual she had performed countless times. The holographic screens transformed, showing massive cities that once stretched across continents. Skyscrapers reached into clouds, interconnected networks of transportation wound like silver veins across landscapes. Oceans sparkled with clean energy platforms, and green technologies had begun to heal the planet's wounded ecosystems. But then the images changed. Massive environmental shifts began transforming the planet. Rising sea levels consumed coastal cities. Extreme weather patterns destroyed agricultural regions. Global conflicts erupted over the remaining resources, pushing humanity to the brink of extinction. The last ships left Earth not in defeat, but in preparation. Joan told his daughter, "We carried the best of human potential, our knowledge, our genetic diversity, our technological achievements." Guardian projected a three-dimensional map showing their current trajectory. They were traveling through a region of space previously unexplored, carrying the hopes of an entire species. Each cryogenic chamber contained not just a sleeping human, but a repository of skills, memories, and potential. The ship's genetic diversity was carefully managed. Every person had been selected not just for their physical capabilities, but for their intellectual potential and psychological stability. Doctors, engineers, artists, scientists, all carefully chosen to rebuild civilization if the opportunity arose. Hana touched one of the holographic displays, watching as microscopic representations of human DNA danced and reconfigured. "We will return home someday," she asked, more of a statement than a question. "We will," Jun responded, placing a hand on her shoulder. "And when we do, humanity will be stronger than ever before." The Ark Nova continued its silent journey through the darkness of space. Generations had been born, lived and died within its protective hull. Each generation was taught the mission, preservation, and eventual return. Guardian continued monitoring everything. Radiation levels, potential planetary signals, the health of the sleeping passengers, the ship's complex life support systems. Nothing escaped its constant surveillance. It was more than a computer. It was the collective memory and guardian of human potential. Outside the ship, the universe moved in its infinite dance. Distant stars created complex patterns. Cosmic radiation washed across the ship's protective shields, and the potential of unknown worlds waited to be discovered. Jun watched his daughter, seeing in her eyes the same determination that had driven humanity to create this incredible vessel of survival. She represented hope, the living embodiment of their species' resilience. One day, Guardian's soft voice interrupted the silence. "We will find a new home, and when we do, humanity will rise again." The Ark Nova moved silently through the cosmic darkness, carrying within its hull the last, best hope of a species that refused to be extinguished, a testament to human imagination, technological prowess, and an unbreakable spirit of survival. Hannah smiled, looking out into the infinite blackness, knowing that somewhere in that vast darkness, their future was waiting. On the rocky terrain of planet Genesis, Dr. Ki-Woo Lee stood in his research complex, surrounded by holographic projections and quantum computing interfaces. The laboratory buzzed with an energy of innovation, where human ingenuity met technological potential. Decades of careful development had transformed their initial survival colony into a hub of unprecedented scientific achievement. Where once humans had struggled to maintain basic life support, they now created systems that blended biological intelligence with advanced machine learning in ways their ancestors could never have imagined. Kai-Woo's latest project involved neural interfaces that could directly connect human consciousness with computational networks. His team had discovered fragments of ancient Earth technology within the Ark Nova's archives, technological blueprints that seemed almost magical to their current understanding. "We're not just rebuilding," Ki-Woo would often tell his research team. "We're reimagining what it means to be human." The quantum computing system they developed could process information at speeds that defied traditional computational limits. By integrating biological neural patterns with advanced algorithms, they created adaptive systems that could learn, predict, and evolve in real time. Young researchers like Maya Chen worked tirelessly, analyzing centuries-old data recovered from the Ark Nova's memory banks. Each recovered fragment was like discovering a piece of lost treasure, technological concepts that had been forgotten during humanity's great exodus. Their colony had become more than a mere survival settlement. It was now a crucible of innovation, where every breakthrough brought them closer to understanding their ultimate goal, returning to Earth and reclaiming their lost home. The planet Genesis itself was a testament to human adaptability. Harsh environmental conditions that would have defeated earlier generations were now carefully managed through advanced terraforming techniques. Artificial ecosystems flourished under controlled atmospheric conditions, creating habitable zones that expanded with each passing year. Kai-Woo's most significant breakthrough came unexpectedly. While analyzing ancient quantum computing models, he discovered a method of information transfer that could potentially communicate across vast interstellar distances. The implications were staggering. They could potentially send messages back to their lost solar system. "Imagine," he told his team one evening, "communicating with a home we haven't seen in generations." The research complex became a beacon of hope. Every new technology developed was another step towards understanding their heritage and preparing for their eventual return. The quantum systems they created could simulate entire planetary ecosystems, predict complex environmental changes, and model potential scenarios for human reintegration. Guardian, the ship's original AI, played a crucial role in these developments. Its vast memory banks provided context and historical information that guided their research. What had once been a simple preservation system had evolved into a complex intellectual partner, contributing insights that pushed human understanding forward. Young scientists like Jae-Sung Park took the foundational work and pushed it into unexplored territories. They developed biological adaptation technologies that could help humans survive in previously uninhabitable environments. Radiation resistance, enhanced cellular regeneration, and neural network augmentations became standard research projects. The archives of the Ark Nova were no longer just a historical record. They had become a living, breathing blueprint for human potential. Each recovered piece of technology was like a puzzle piece, slowly revealing a picture of what humanity could become. Outside the research complex, the landscape of planet Genesis reflected their progress. Controlled environment domes expanded across rocky terrain, creating green spaces that defied the planet's original harsh conditions. Solar collection systems and advanced energy networks powered their growing civilization. Kaiguo would often stand at the observation deck, looking out over the transformed landscape, remembering the stories his parents told him about their journey. They had not just survived, they had thrived. "We are preparing," he would tell his daughter, who was now following in his scientific footsteps, "to reclaim our destiny." The technological renaissance happening on planet Genesis was more than scientific development. It was a rebirth of human potential, a reimagining of what their species could achieve when united by a common purpose. Every quantum calculation, every neural interface, every advanced system brought them one step closer to understanding their place in the universe. The forgotten knowledge of Earth was being resurrected, transformed, and given new life. And somewhere in the vast darkness of space, the Ark Nova continued its silent journey, carrying the dreams of generations, waiting for the moment when humanity would finally return home. The massive diplomatic vessel approached the Galactic Central Station, its sleek design a testament to human engineering. Captain Yun Cho stood at the command deck, his eyes focused on the extraordinary gathering of alien species that filled the massive circular station. Humanity had been considered a newcomer, a species barely worth acknowledging. But everything was about to change. The first contact happened unexpectedly. A routine exploration mission led by Captain Cho's team encountered the Stellar Confederation, a network of advanced alien civilizations that had been operating for thousands of years. Initially, the alien representatives viewed humans with mild curiosity and significant skepticism. They saw us as another young, primitive species, Cho would later recall. But we were going to prove them wrong. During the initial diplomatic meeting, human representatives demonstrated technologies that left the alien delegates stunned. Quantum communication systems that could transmit information across multiple star systems, adaptive biological interfaces that could interact with various environmental conditions, and computational models that solved complex mathematical problems in seconds. The Stellar Confederation's primary diplomatic representative, a crystalline being named Zora, looked at the human delegation with increasing respect. Their technological leap was unprecedented. Within moments of interaction, human adaptability became evident. Technological demonstrations were just the beginning. Human negotiators showed an extraordinary ability to understand complex interstellar political dynamics. Where other species saw barriers, humans saw opportunities for collaboration and mutual growth. Trade negotiations began rapidly. Human researchers had developed unique energy conversion technologies that were valuable across multiple planetary systems. Their ability to quickly adapt existing technologies to different environmental conditions made them attractive trading partners. Captain Cho's diplomatic team included experts from various backgrounds. Scientists, linguists, economists, and cultural specialists worked together with a unity that surprised the alien civilizations. Where other species often struggled with internal conflicts, humans presented a remarkably cohesive front. The Stellar Confederation's initial assessment changed dramatically. What they had considered a primitive species was proving to be a dynamic, rapidly evolving civilization with extraordinary potential. Strategic alliances formed quickly. The human colony on planet Genesis became a critical trading hub, connecting multiple star systems through innovative transportation and communication networks. Their technological advancements allowed them to create efficient trade routes that reduced interstellar travel times significantly. One of the most significant breakthroughs came from Dr. Maya Chen, a human researcher who developed a universal translation matrix. This technology could instantly translate complex linguistic and cultural nuances across different species, revolutionizing interstellar communication. The alien civilizations began to see humans not as newcomers, but as a rapidly emerging power. Their adaptability, technological innovation, and diplomatic skills made them unique among known species. Trade routes expanded exponentially. Human-developed technologies became sought after across multiple star systems. Energy conversion systems, advanced medical technologies, and computational interfaces created by human researchers became standard in many alien civilizations. Captain Cho understood that this was more than just economic expansion. This was humanity's moment of rebirth. The species that had been forced to flee Earth was now becoming a significant player in galactic civilization. Guardian, the ship's original AI, played a crucial role in these developments. Its vast database of human history and potential provided context and strategic insights that impressed even the most advanced alien computational systems. During one critical diplomatic conference, an alien representative asked Captain Cho about humanity's ultimate goal. His response was simple and profound: to grow, to learn, and to ensure our species' survival and advancement. The story of human expansion was not just about technological achievement. It was about resilience, adaptability, and an unbreakable spirit of exploration. From the ashes of a dying Earth, humanity had not just survived. They had thrived. As the diplomatic vessel returned to planet Genesis, Captain Cho looked out at the stars. The journey that began with their ancestors fleeing a dying planet had led them here, to the threshold of a new galactic era. Humanity had arrived, and the universe would never be the same. The massive fleet emerged from quantum jump space, a sight that would forever change galactic history. Thousands of ships, each representing centuries of human technological evolution, stretched across the solar system like a silver web of determination. Admiral Sung Park stood on the bridge of the flagship Prometheus, his hand steady on the command interface. Decades of preparation had led to this moment, humanity's return to their lost home. Earth hung in the distance, no longer the blue-green planet of their ancestors' memories. Geological shifts and cosmic events had transformed the world, making it almost unrecognizable. Alien settlements dotted the planetary surface, believing they had claimed this abandoned world permanently. They were wrong. The first wave of human ships moved with mathematical precision. Advanced quantum targeting systems locked onto alien defensive positions, weapons that merged biological intelligence with computational accuracy began their systematic assault. Target extraction protocols initiated, Guardian's AI voice announced coldly. Each ship in the fleet moved like a synchronized organism, decades of strategic planning compressed into millisecond decisions. Alien defensive systems, considered among the most advanced in the galaxy, crumbled beneath human technological superiority. Adaptive shield technologies absorbed and redirected energy weapons. Computational warfare systems infiltrated and neutralized alien communication networks faster than they could respond. Admiral Park watched as Mars, once a distant dream of human colonization, became the first battleground. Alien research stations that had operated for centuries were systematically disabled, not through brute force, but through intelligent, precise interventions that left minimal collateral damage. "We are not conquerors," Park told his command team. "We are returning home." The battle for the solar system was unlike any conflict in galactic history. Human ships used technologies that seemed to bend the very rules of physics. Quantum entanglement communication allowed instantaneous strategic coordination. Biological mechanical hybrid systems adapted to combat conditions in real time. Alien settlements on asteroid belts and outer planetary regions were methodically displaced. Each engagement was a surgical strike, demonstrating humanity's evolved approach to conflict. They were not seeking destruction, but reclamation. Dr. Ki-Woo Lee, now a senior strategic advisor, monitored technological interactions. Every alien defensive system they encountered became another opportunity to learn, to adapt, to improve. The human fleet wasn't just fighting. They were evolving with each engagement. Weeks of systematic operations transformed the solar system. Alien settlements that had believed themselves permanent residents were systematically relocated. Advanced terraforming technologies began restoring Earth's ecological systems, erasing centuries of alien modifications. The most surprising element was humanity's restraint. Despite centuries of potential revenge, they approached their return with a calculated, almost clinical precision. Each action was designed to minimize loss of life, to demonstrate technological superiority without unnecessary destruction. Guardian's computational systems tracked every strategic movement. What had begun as a preservation eye on the original colony ship was now a complex strategic intelligence that understood humanity's ultimate mission: survival and restoration. On Earth's surface, research teams prepared for planetary reconstruction. Advanced nanite technologies would repair ecological systems. Genetic archives preserved on the Ark Nova would help restore lost species and environmental balances. Admiral Park watched as the first human shuttles began landing on Earth's transformed surface. Generations of humans who had only known life on planet Genesis were about to touch their ancestral home for the first time. "We have returned," he said simply, a statement that carried the weight of 500,000 years of human history. The solar system, once thought lost, was becoming human again. Not through conquest, but through technological mastery and an unbreakable spirit of survival. As the last alien defensive positions were neutralized, humanity looked forward, not with vengeance, but with hope. They had not just reclaimed a planet, they had reclaimed their destiny. The return expedition was complete. Earth was home again. The first rays of sunlight touched Earth's transformed landscape as Dr. Hannah Lee stepped onto the planetary surface. Generations of her family had dreamed of this moment, returning to a world that had been lost for centuries. Massive ecological reconstruction machines stood like silent guardians across the horizon. Each device was a marvel of human engineering, capable of transforming damaged ecosystems in ways that would have seemed impossible to their ancestors. Hannah activated the primary terraforming sequence. Thousands of nanite swarms emerged from the massive machines, spreading across damaged landscapes. These microscopic technological marvels began their complex work of environmental restoration. The oceans were first. Contaminated waters began to clear, decades of ecological damage slowly reversing. Coral systems that had been near extinction started regenerating. Marine ecosystems that had been destroyed began showing signs of rapid recovery. Atmospheric stabilization happened faster than anyone had predicted. Specialized machines released carefully designed molecular compounds that began repairing the planet's damaged climate systems. Carbon levels normalized. Temperature regulations began returning to historical patterns. Guardian, the AI that had guided humanity's journey, monitored every transformation. Its computational systems tracked ecological changes with microsecond precision. What had once been a simple preservation system was now the primary architect of planetary restoration. Research teams from planet Genesis worked alongside local environmental specialists. Each team brought unique perspectives, combining advanced technologies with careful ecological understanding. They were not just restoring Earth, they were reimagining it. Genetic archives recovered from the Ark Nova began recreating lost species. Extinct animals and plants emerged from carefully preserved DNA samples. Entire ecosystems that had disappeared centuries ago started rebuilding themselves. Hannah watched as the first new forest emerged. Engineered trees with enhanced carbon absorption capabilities grew at accelerated rates. These were not just plants, but living technologies designed to heal the planet. Massive desert regions began transforming. Water generation systems pulled moisture from the atmosphere, creating new river systems. Areas that had been barren for centuries started showing signs of life. Green patches expanded like living maps of hope. The human settlements began differently this time. Instead of conquering the environment, they designed themselves to work in harmony with ecological systems. Sustainable cities emerged, integrated perfectly with the surrounding landscapes. Advanced agricultural technologies allowed food production that required minimal environmental impact. Vertical farming systems and genetically optimized crops could produce massive food quantities without damaging surrounding ecosystems. Energy production transformed completely. Quantum energy systems that could draw power directly from molecular interactions replaced old fossil fuel technologies. Each human settlement became a self-sustaining ecosystem. Hannah understood this was more than planetary restoration. This was humanity's opportunity to correct the mistakes of their ancestors. They were not just returning home. They were creating a new understanding of human civilization. Guardian calculated that full planetary restoration would take approximately 50 years, but the initial transformations were happening faster than any computational model had predicted. Human adaptability and technological innovation were exceeding all expectations. As sunset approached, Hannah looked across the landscape. Where there had been destruction, life was emerging. Where there had been damage, healing was happening. Earth was not just being restored, it was being reborn. The machines continued their silent work. Nanites moved through soil and water, repairing, rebuilding, creating. Humanity had returned not as conquerors, but as caretakers. In the distance, new forests grew. Oceans sparkled with renewed clarity. The atmosphere began to stabilize. Earth was becoming home again, not just a planet, but a testament to human potential. Hannah smiled. Their journey was complete. Humanity had returned.